Now, the NATO Secretary-General, Mark Rutte, had some sharp words for Europe regarding the continent's military preparedness. He told EU lawmakers to, quote, keep on dreaming if they think it's possible to defend Europe without the United States. His remarks come with relations between Europe and the US at a low point. That's amid Donald Trump's repeated threats to acquire Greenland. President Trump has insisted the US needs to take control of the Arctic island to prevent Russia and China from doing so. For more, we're joined now by Marisol Maddox, a senior Arctic fellow at the Institute of Arctic Studies at Dartmouth College in the US. Welcome to DW. Tell us, first of all, why is the Arctic so important for the US, for Russia, for Europe?
Yeah, so the Arctic has been a very geostrategic region, especially when you think about the way that aerospace threats are evolving, right? So the whole way that our continental defense architecture evolved did not evolve keeping in mind the current types of missiles that we have now, right? We have hypersonic missiles now. We have all sorts of challenges around drones, right? So the kind of traditional ways that we had designed that architecture does not really fully align with the way that the threat environment has changed. As the region is becoming more accessible, there is an increase in shipping activity, interest in commercial opportunities, and in order to realize the economic opportunities in the Arctic, it's really important to keep this region an area of low tension and cooperation. But simultaneously, there is this, great power competition that is becoming more significant. You're seeing China becoming a more capable Arctic actor. They're still not an Arctic military power, but they are investing in those capabilities. They are working more with Russia, which is an Arctic power that takes up over half of the Arctic.
You mentioned that the region is becoming more accessible. Just to clarify, that's because of climate change?
It is because of climate change, yes.
Who currently has the upper hand in the Arctic right now?
Russia is the country that has taken their Arctic presence and military modernization most seriously. They have over 36 different military installations. They've revitalized Cold War infrastructure, built new structures, expanded runways. They've really found ways to work around sanctions to be able to use shell companies to acquire really high-tech espionage and surveillance technology from Western countries to really increase their sensor network, both on land but also under the ocean. So I would say that really the United States is in catch-up mode, and that's pretty explicitly recognized in a lot of our strategy documents.
So with the US increasingly seen as a less than reliable ally, where does this leave the Europeans? I mean, can the Europeans shoulder the burden in the North Atlantic by themselves?
So you can see that based off of the National Defense Strategy, which recently came out, the United States is expecting Europe to take more responsibility. I would say that Norway has traditionally been referred to as NATO in the north. They have incredible capabilities, very high levels of defense spending. I mean, this has been a complete game changer over the last couple years in terms of the leadership that they're taking. Now we have Sweden and Finland in NATO, so Nordic defense cooperation is stronger than ever. So I would say that there have been significant increases in those commitments, and now we just need to see that follow through and really see how this plays out for the EU as well.
So what more should NATO be doing? I mean, is there anything obvious that it's not doing to bolster security and, ensure its access to maritime routes?
It might be a good time for NATO to actually develop an Arctic strategy. That's not something that they have explicitly done before, but now with increased pressure for NATO to be playing a larger role in the region, it might be helpful for just clarifying what exactly are the threats that we are seeking to deter and defend against in different parts of the Arctic, because the Arctic is a huge region and it's not homogeneous. So the threats that you see are not the same in each part. And so it's really important to understand what it looks like to make those strategic calibrated investments that actually make sense, where presence is needed, where we can have more unmanned systems. How do we leverage already existing infrastructure to just create more value added to both communities and the alliance. So I think there are some ways that we could, really do this better, but it needs to be a calibrated approach to really understand how to do this smart.
We're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. But thank you so much, Marisol Maddox from the Institute of Arctic Studies at Dartmouth College. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.